This is the match nobody in the knockout rounds wanted to see this early. The five-time world champions, Brazil, against Japan, the team that already beat them once this season. One side is stacked with global superstars, the other has made a career out of humbling football's biggest names. So who actually wins it? What does the tactical battle come down to? And who is waiting in the round of 16? Because the experts are split on this one, and not the way you'd expect. Let's set the stage. Brazil versus Japan, the round of 32, June 29th, at NRG Stadium in Houston. Win, and you're into the last 16. Lose, and your World Cup is over. On paper, this looks like a mismatch. Brazil are the most successful nation in World Cup history, five-time champions, with a forward line built around Vinicius Jr. and Gabriel Martinelli. Japan are supposed to be the plucky outsiders. But here's a number that hangs over Brazil. They have not actually won this trophy since 2002, and 4 years ago they crashed out in the quarterfinals. For all the talent, the pressure on this team to finally deliver is enormous. But here's the detail that changes everything. Just a few months ago, in a friendly on Japanese soil, Japan beat this Brazil side 3-2, and they did it after going 2 goals down in the first half. Now, fair warning, that Brazil team was heavily rotated, missing key centre-backs, so take it with a pinch of salt. But it still tells you something, and it is not the first time Japan have pulled this trick. Cast your mind back to 2022, when Japan beat both Germany and Spain in the group stage. According to ESPN, this current Japan team may actually be deeper than that one. And for over a year, they've been saying one thing out loud: their goal at this tournament isn't just to compete, it's to win the whole thing. So whatever the bracket says, this is not the gentle draw it looks like. So how did both teams get here? Start with Brazil. They topped Group C, but they had to grind for it, finishing level on points with Morocco and taking first place only on goal difference. Their statement game was the finale, a commanding 3-0 win over Scotland, with Vinicius Jr. scoring twice and finally looking like the player Carlo Ancelotti needs him to be. Just as important, Brazil conceded only 1 goal in the entire group stage, that defensive solidity that has so often been their missing piece. Across their last 5 games, friendlies included, they have won 4 and drawn 1, and they carry real momentum. And the firepower runs deep, with options like Matheus Cunha to call on. Now Japan, they came through Group F unbeaten, and that's the headline. They opened by fighting back for a 2-2 draw with the Netherlands, then took Tunisia apart 4-0, and closed with a 1-1 draw against Sweden. But that final result is the twist in the tale. By drawing, Japan finished second in the group instead of first. In fact, there was a moment during that simultaneous final round when Japan, level with the Netherlands at the top, were a single goal away from winning Group F outright, before the Dutch pulled clear against Tunisia and Japan slipped to second. And finishing second is exactly what dropped them into Brazil's path. Had they won the group, the bracket would have handed them a far kinder route. Instead, the reward for an unbeaten group stage is a date with Brazil. Japan have not lost in 5 matches, 3 wins, 2 draws, 2 clean sheets, and don't forget, back in March, they beat England 1-0. This is a team that genuinely fears no one. So what actually decides this game? Let's talk tactics, because it is a proper clash of styles. Brazil's whole plan is built around freeing up that star front line, Vinicius, Martinelli, Lucas Paqueta, to create and to finish. To do that, their fullbacks push high and wide. And that, according to analysts at Goal, is precisely the door Japan will try to walk through. Japan are masters of one thing in particular: compressing the middle of the pitch, soaking up pressure in a disciplined block, and then exploding forward in fast, vertical counters the instant they win the ball back. If Brazil's attacking fullbacks overcommit, Japan's runners, quick, clever forwards like Takefusa Kubo and Takumi Minamino, feeding striker Ayase Ueda, will attack the space behind them and try to isolate Brazil's centre-backs. Goals analysts put it bluntly: Japan's creative players have the spatial intelligence to drift between the lines and punish any over-aggressive opponent, which is exactly why Brazil's #1 priority has to be dynamic defensive cover, never letting those centre-backs get exposed 2 against 2. So the single biggest question of the night is this: can Brazil's midfield shield, anchored by Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes, and their centre-back pairing hold their shape while the attack does its work? Japan will not dominate the ball. They don't need to. They'll defend with everyone behind it and gamble on quality on the break. Brazil, for their part, have to break down one of the most organized, hardest-working defensive blocks in the entire tournament. And we have already seen at this World Cup how quickly even elite teams get frustrated when a deep block refuses to crack. For both sides, patience and concentration will be everything. One mistake could settle it. Now to the part you came for. What do the experts and the bookmakers actually predict? Start with the odds, because they are clear. Brazil are the favorites. Most books price Brazil as the clear favorite to win, with Japan a sizable underdog and the draw in between, so the market backs Brazil. But the analysts, far more divided. Over at Yahoo Sports, the verdict was striking. Their writer said flatly that he still doesn't trust Brazil against good teams. And Japan, he argued, is a good team, one that presses, passes, and counters at speed. He leaned toward Japan to at least drag this to extra time, pointing straight back at that 3-2 win in October. It's a reminder that, on their day, Japan don't just sit deep and survive against elite sides, they go after them. BetMGM took a different angle, tipping both teams to score, citing Japan's defensive vulnerabilities against elite attacks, but also Brazil's own habit of looking shaky against quality opposition. And ESPN framed it best of all. If Japan are serious about winning this World Cup, Brazil are the ultimate test, a test that may simply have arrived too soon, here in the round of 32. So the consensus is that Brazil should win, but almost nobody is calling it comfortable, and a real chunk of the smart money smells an upset. And here's the prize, all the trap, waiting on the other side. Whoever survives this one does not get a breather. In the round of 16, the winner of Brazil versus Japan will face the winner of another heavyweight tie, Ivory Coast against the runner-up of Group I. And that Group I runner-up will be either France, with Kylian Mbappé, or Norway, led by Erling Haaland, one of the deadliest strikers on the planet. Those two heavyweights actually face each other on June 26 to decide who tops Group I, and whoever finishes second drops straight onto this side of the bracket. So the reward for beating Brazil or Japan could be a date with Mbappé, or with Haaland, or with a seriously dangerous Ivory Coast side. There are no soft landings on this side of the bracket. So that's the full breakdown. Brazil have the pedigree, the firepower, and the favorites tag. Japan have the belief, the blueprint, and a recent win over this exact opponent. The bookies say Brazil. A lot of the experts are not so sure. So what do you think? Do the 5-time champions handle business, or do Japan pull off the shock and send a giant home? Drop your score prediction in the comments. Kickoff is June 29 in Houston, and if the experts are right that this is too close to call, we could be in for a classic.